don't actually have a time problem. You have a starting the week wrong problem. Because somehow, every week begins with good intentions and ends with you wondering where all your time went. You tell yourself, this week, I'll finally get things together. You feel motivated for a moment, maybe even excited, but then Monday hits and everything starts slipping. One task turns into 5. A small delay turns into a full day being wasted. And before you even realize it, you're back in that familiar feeling. Distracted, slightly anxious, like you're always catching up, but never actually ahead. And what's frustrating is you're not doing nothing. Like your days are full, but not meaningful. Like your time is going somewhere, but not where you want it to go. And that feeling slowly drains you. Not all at once, but little by little. Until even simple things start feeling harder than they should. Here's what most people don't understand. Your week doesn't fall apart because of big problems. It falls apart because of small, unplanned moments. Moments where you don't know what to do next. Moments where you hesitate. Moments where your brain switches to autopilot and chooses the easiest option instead of the right one. And once that pattern starts, it repeats again and again. That's how an entire week disappears. Not in one big failure, but in 100 tiny ones. And your brain, it doesn't like that. Your brain wants direction. It wants a clear path. Because when there's no clear plan, your brain defaults to comfort scrolling, delaying, avoiding, not because you're lazy, but because your brain is trying to protect your energy. It chooses easy over important. Now, here's the truth that changes everything. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer decisions. Because decision fatigue is what's quietly draining you. Every time you ask yourself, what should I do now? You lose energy. Every time you switch tasks without clarity, you lose focus. And by the middle of the week, your brain is already tired. Even if you haven't done anything significant, that's the real problem. Not time, not discipline, too many decisions. And this is exactly where the 1OR weekly reset changes everything. Because instead of deciding your life in the middle of chaos, you decide it once in calm, in silence, with clarity. That 1 hour becomes your control center, your reset button, your moment to step out of the noise and take back control. First, you close your open loops, sit down and ask yourself, what's still unfinished in my life right now? Not just tasks, but everything messages you didn't reply to. Things you've been avoiding, ideas you haven't acted on. Write it all down, because unfinished things don't disappear. They stay in your mind, quietly taking up space. Second, you simplify your week. Most people overload themselves. They try to fix everything in 1 week, and that's why they fail. Instead, reduce your focus. Pick fewer things, but commit to them fully. Because clarity doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing less intentionally. Third, you design your days. Not in a strict robotic way, but with intention. Decide what kind of day Monday will be. A focused day, a learning day, a catch-up day. When each day has a purpose, your brain stops wandering. It knows what to do. Fourth, you remove friction. Look at what usually stops you during the week. See your phone? Your messy work, lack of preparation. Fix it now. Make your environment support your goals, not fight them. And finally, you commit. Not to perfection, but to direction. Because your week doesn't need to be perfect to feel good. It just needs to feel intentional. That's the difference. And when you start your week like this, something shifts. You feel lighter, calmer, more in control, not because life got easier, but because your mind got clearer. And a clear mind changes everything. 1 hour, that's all it takes. 1 hour to reduce stress. 1 hour to regain focus. 1 hour to feel like you're finally in control again. So try it this week, not perfectly, just honestly, and watch what happens. Because once you feel the difference, you won't want to live without it. And if this gave you a new way to look at your time, hit like and subscribe, because here we don't just talk about working harder. We talk about thinking smarter